should be considered a very special occasion. Not only is this the feature premiere of a new studio entering the animation competition, Skydance Animation, but this is also the debut of Apple's signature animation studio for their streaming platform, Apple TV+. As curiously exciting as this may sound, this is not really the reason why this is grabbing the attention of the animation community. No, the true reason why is because this marks as the official comeback of the controversial animation producer, John Lasseter, whom literally just days after getting kicked out from Disney for the years of sexual misconduct and toxic behavior, even if he left a powerful legacy for both Disney Animation and Pixar, he gets immediately picked up by Skydance to run their animation studio and dodge whatever consequences he could have faced.
Yay! I can do animation again! Who wants a hug? Why is everyone running away?
To this day, Lasseter has become a very divisive subject, and it's next to impossible to bring him up without at least a few people really letting out their emotions in regards to their feelings about the guy. This is why, for the sake of this movie and of this review, I'm going to completely separate John from the whole equation and only judging the movie itself. Don't forget that there's still hundreds of people who worked on this film, many of which put their heart into it in order to create a new imaginative world based on the concept of luck. And John is not one of them. Trust me, I'll get more into that later. But now that luck is on our side and available to watch, will I feel lucky for watching this? Or is the title referring to what it just ran out of? Let's find out. The story. Directed by DreamWorks veteran Alejandro Carloni, the movie presents the ultimate war between good luck and bad luck, and how their battle has been secretly affecting our world for around 1,000 years. At least that would have been the movie if Lasseter didn't show up, who enabled his old Pixar behavior right when he stepped into Skydance by throwing out Carloni and get some personal friends of his to come and redo the whole idea in the way that he wants it. Okay, I know I said that I would keep John out of the review itself. I just wanted to quickly mention what happened during production. Anyways, after making some major renovations to the concept, luck is now about this very unlucky girl named Sam who stumbles upon a lucky penny that flipped her life, but then of course immediately loses it. However, after following a talking black cat named Bob into the land of luck, Sam hopes to retrieve that penny so that she can go and help her friend at the orphanage to find a new family. One thing that this movie never lets you forget is that luck isn't just the title of this film, but it's also what this is all about. In fact, one of the most dangerous things you can do to yourself is play a drinking game where you take a shot every time a character says luck. Trust me, you'll be halfway into the movie and then suddenly, you'll wake up in a completely different room with a painful headache.
Luck. 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 Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Look. Luck. Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck.
Luck. Luck. Yes, I've got that part. What? You said it like 100 times.
And this brings up a major problem with the feature that hurts the viewing experience. The movie keeps hammering the luck theme so hard and so frequently that it ends up getting annoying real quick. So much so that it even prioritizes having every scene be about luck more than giving their characters a strong personality or even a story that's worth grabbing your attention. It's like if for the 100 minutes it has, all it does is constantly repeat the same thing over and over and over and over to look how lucky or unlucky that character is, as if the picture only has one joke to tell and only knows how to say different variations of it. And yet, I haven't even gotten to the meat of the picture where Sam does get into the land of luck. Once she enters in the new world, that's when the story goes from annoying to tedious as it now becomes one of those movies. You know the ones. The lead, or one of the leads, suddenly finds themselves in the supernatural world where humans shouldn't be in and tries to blend in until they resolve the conflict. It's the same plot used in so many other animated narratives for decades that has now become overdone. We've heard it before in Monsters, Inc., in Spirited Away, and in Hotel Transylvania.
They were so sweet and tiny.
And surprisingly less clever than usual. They totally bought it!
But unlike some of those films, Luck doesn't include a unique twist to the plotline that makes it engaging. When taking the luck aspect out of it, this is the basic version of the cliched plot, but just very poorly structured where it keeps on flipping between a wacky scenario where Sam's luck gets her in a sticky situation and exposition that makes the world building feel boring where it periodically lectures the audience about how their version of luck works.
And there's only one thing that can release it.
What's that?
The randomizer.
You're saying luck is random?
Aye, hence the name, randomizer.
But while luck was never on the writing side, I will say that I do understand why they wanted to make this movie. At the very least, there is an idea that did have potential where it combines all the beliefs about luck from around the world and be in charge of how they distribute it, as well as a nice message about how both good and bad luck can make you who you are today, and how even bad luck can end up feeling like good luck. The concept is there, but the execution completely ruins it where it feels like it just wants to copy Disney. The plot itself feels like it took too many notes from Monsters, Inc., down to the point where it could feel like it could be close to being called a ripoff. And the structure where it focuses on Sam's pursuit across the land feels like it was built the same way as some of the Disney and Pixar films from the last decade, including having a brief and unnecessary twist villain. Just like Sam's luck in the start of the film, the story is just an absolute mess. There may be some good intentions inside, but everything it tries to do just falls apart and ends up looking like a broken down version of something we've already had before. The animation. Okay, maybe the movie does have a little bit of luck on its side. However, most, if not all of it, was put onto the visuals. The most positive thing that I could say regarding the feature is that it does supply some great looking animation. With a budget that is said to be significantly larger than most mainstream animated features nowadays, it shows that the team had some great resources to use in order to craft their pictures and bring to life all the ideas of what they wanted to do with a world based on luck. Speaking of which, what is easily the most eye-catching element of the film is the Land of Luck itself. A whole world that is divided into two where the good luck is on top and right side up, and the bad luck is on the bottom and upside down. Inside, the various animals and creatures from different lore across the globe all work inside the facility to maintain the balance of good and bad luck. It is a grand structure with many detailed areas and different ways to travel around the place to ensure that everything is in order.
Welcome to the Land of Luck.
However, as beautifully built as it is, the more that I think about it, the more that it doesn't seem as memorable as it was at first glance. Ironically, for a movie that never shuts up about luck, there's not a whole lot of a luck theme to it. For the most part, it's more of a futuristic office where the aesthetics are mostly round and white, and the use of colors are mostly kept to a minimum. There might be a few like Babe who can vibrantly pop out more, but the majority of the colors used are white, green, and some purple, which eventually can make the experience less than exciting than it could have been. Actually, that description can also describe the animation in general, where the concept is a little weak and it's not the best looking animated feature of the year, but it shows that there was some great talent behind it coming from a passionate team. What is probably my biggest criticism about the animation, outside of the use of colors, is that it doesn't feel like it has its own voice. Much like the story, the designs feel like they want to copy Disney in the hopes that they could emulate the same feeling. Much like how Sam has that same style that most modern Disney heroines have. Not to mention the characters moving in a more realistic manner so that the subtlety of it is able to best express their emotions.
My friend, Hazel, could have been one step closer to getting adopted today, but it didn't happen. Her weekend visit got canceled.
Now, I'm not saying that this makes the animation bad. On its own, it still looks very nice to show some good textures, and it's rendered quite well. It just doesn't feel original where it wants to pursue to be like someone else instead of showing off its own style. On a side note, I will give it credit that the animators did a nice job with playing around with the character's look in some scenes. Sure, some may probably give this a pass because this is Skydance's first animated feature, but while not as extravagant or even as original as it probably could have been, it is a nice start from the animation team. The characters. This may come as a surprise, but the concept of how lucky or unlucky they can be doesn't really do much to build a character. As I said before, the movie is so focused on explaining how luck plays in the world building and who has good luck or bad luck that it has little to no time to build any character development for its cast. However, this is not to say that they are a lost cause entirely. This is another case where the actors do a better job at giving the characters a personality than the script. And I'll hand it to the movie that it does have pretty good voice talent. Maybe the film didn't make the most out of them, but the actors did sound like they were having fun while playing up their characters. Some personal highlights that I have that I think did very well include Jane Fonda as Babe.
And were I the queen of the universe, and I suspect it's a job I would excel at, I'd rid the world of bad luck altogether.
Colin O'Donoghue as Jerry.
Lucky me! Of course! So it's super easy. You sit in the chair, the penny comes to you, you polish it up and send it on its way.
And Simon Pegg as Bob.
But black cats aren't lucky.
Ah, in Scotland, black cats are considered very lucky, thank you very much.
Is this Scotland?
No!
But even with a list of solid voices, they don't help to make any of these characters memorable or stand out on their own beyond their roles in the picture, especially when the majority of the focus is only given to the two leads. Starting with Sam, she's the girl who lives her entire life having bad luck. So much so that she never got a chance to be adopted and now has to live on her own. However, even when she herself got a taste of some magical good luck, her entire mission to retrieve the lucky penny is so that she can give it to her friend Hazel at her old orphanage so that she could find her forever family. In other words, she's nothing more but the good-hearted protagonist who gains empathy points for going on a selfless adventure to help a little girl. Alongside her is Bob, a black cat who aids Sam on her journey because the penny actually belonged to him, and wants to get it back so that he doesn't get banished to the realm of bad luck. I'll give him credit that he later has a little twist that is interesting and does go a bit more into his character and how things work in the Land of Luck, but his main job is to be Sam's straight man and guide to the land while never endlessly telling everyone that she's a leprechaun from Latvia.
Latvia! She's from Latvia! Latvia!
As for all the other characters, they all share the same role as one of the residents of the land who gets to share a scene or a few with Sam and Bob during the picture. There's Jerry, Bob's friend who aids them to find a penny, the captain, the head of security who never liked Bob, Babe, the head of good luck that wishes for more good to flow than bad, Rudy, the head of both bad luck and the area's tiki bar that's voiced by John Ratzenberger, and Jeff, the boisterous German unicorn in charge of maintaining all the luck that's distributed throughout the world.
So you two are friends.
Oh, Robert doesn't want friends. But lucky for him, I wouldn't take 9 for an answer.
While I'd hesitate to say that this group is unlikable or anything like that, it's just that they offer very little memorability and most of them are just one-dimensional characters that only have one purpose and that's it. The movie may have a solid cast, but those people are highly prolific actors who are able to provide great performances in projects that are way better than this. It would have required a lot more than just luck to make this a worthwhile picture. Luck is just a weak animated feature that took an interesting concept and turned it into a badly structured movie that tries too hard to be just like Disney instead of being its own film worth remembering. While it may deliver some well-crafted aspects like some nice-looking animation, a solid voice cast, and may I add a lovingly enjoyable score by John Debney, the writing is so bad that it nearly ruined the whole experience with a terribly structured and cliched story, boringly lectured world building, and bland characters with no luck with having any memorability. While I wouldn't necessarily go as far as call this a bad movie, I wouldn't say either that this is a high priority to watch. At best, maybe it can be served as a kid distractor, but not worth going out of your way to watch it, or especially not worth paying for Apple TV Plus for just that. Also, I know that there are going to be many people who would want to distance themselves from this picture in protest against John Lasseter. And while I do understand the sentiment, regardless of my opinion on the film itself, there's actually no real harm in checking this movie out. Again, hundreds of people worked on this film in varying capacities, and it's easy to just separate one individual from something made by plenty of good people. Besides, it's not like John actually did anything to make the movie. Seriously, according to secondhand sources who know people who worked or are still working at Skydance Animation, John rarely shows up at any meeting in relation to the creation of Luck. And whenever he does show up and have no one to spoon-feed him what he needs to know about the movie itself, he usually falls asleep and then briefly wakes up to complain about things he thought that he heard. Not to mention that his biggest contribution to the picture is being a creative obstacle for the team to the point of often bottlenecking the whole production. As desperate as Skydance may be to keep their productions a complete secret, what they don't want to tell you is that all John did was hit the reset button on Luck and then calls it a day, where he takes all the glory from everyone in the form of vague marketing that calls him the creative visionary who brought you Toy Story and Cars. And I'm sure people will tell you even that's debatable. He wasn't hired to be a creative visionary. He was only brought in to be a marketing tool. All because some out-of-touch CEO is too much of a fanboy where he literally cares about no one else and just desperately wants to uncancel John. In this evolving animation landscape, there is no reason to keep Lasseter or his troublesome behavior and nepotist tactics in the industry. And for the sake of everyone, including John himself, he's honestly better off retiring for good to the millions of dollars he already has. Even if he did contribute to this film, this is not a good look for him, because this just feels like his desperate attempt to recapture the magic he had at Disney, but no longer has what he needs to make a true Disney film. The closest thing he can have now that you can do too is subscribe to my channel, where he can get a few good pointers of where he may have gone wrong. Even if this is Skydance's first animated movie, I can tell that there is some great potential and greater talent within the studio. It's just that John Lasseter and Luck are not among them, nor good examples of that.
A little good luck for Hazel. And we did it, Bob. I swear I could hug you right now.
No!